to murder Shell Kell, if you would. And I believe that there's going to be some line of questioning that's going to be directed to Mr. Huey or concerning Mr. Huey.
Okay.
And I'm concerned, Your Honor, that that particular line of question, first of all, it's not in any overt act that's been listed in the indictment. It's not a count in the indictment. It's not been listed in any type of intrinsic act that they're trying to get into. So I'm going to ask the court to weigh in on this one with respect to it being a 403 issue for the court to consider. It's going to be hard for us to even if I cross-examine him and say, hey, you know anything about this? I told you I lie, but it's been said, and there's no way for me to be able to cross him on that other than just to ask him about it. The jury will have already heard that information come out, and there's just no foundation for me to be able to delve into this particular witness if they ask him, well, did you try to talk Mr. Huey out of this or out of that particular act? So, Your Honor, I believe based upon that information that the state is telling me that they may get into, I don't believe that there's no real foundation to get into it because I can't do anything with that particular questioning other than ask this witness who we've already seen, doesn't recall, doesn't remember, so forth and so on.
So, Ms. Hilton, what is it that you would potentially be eliciting from Mr. Copeland?
So let me give some context. So in October of 2021, specifically October 27th, 2021, Mr. Copeland was arrested on traffic violations and a gun charge. When he, after being arrested, he was brought to the Atlanta Police Department headquarters and Mirandized and interviewed. In the course of that interview, he was trying to get out of jail. So he told the police he had information for them that would be helpful to them. He proceeds to tell them about a potential plot that was going to happen that evening to kill Shell Kell at a club called Diamonds. I think it might be called Diamonds of Atlanta or Diamonds, which is off of Northside Drive. He tells the police that he did not want to go into full details about what he knew because he was concerned that the police would not help him out because he reverts back to 2015, advising that he had given information in 2015 and the police did not help him. So he was willing to call the people who might be involved in this potential plot to kill Shell Kell on FaceTime and let those individuals kind of talk about the plot in front of the police. The individuals that he was going to call, eventually he ended up saying it was going to be Quay, and we believe that to be Marquavius Huey, and someone that he said was 44 Savage, who was DeLevante Fleetwood. He talked about what he could do. You could set me up in a room. I'll call him on FaceTime. And then he proceeded to let the police know that he's advised Quay on several occasions that he shouldn't do things for Thug, that Thug wasn't going to help him out, and that this wasn't, this is not something he should do. Eventually, nothing happened. Nothing happened to Shell Kell in that evening. But
and was there a FaceTime call in the midst of this interview?
No, they did not do the FaceTime call during the midst of the interview.
And so what's the point of eliciting all of this?
The point to elicit was that he was willing to give up information again about a plot that he was aware of. Again, this plot to have the rival person that we've been talking about for a number of months, Shell Kell, to be killed, which I think is relevant because, again...
Do you have some other evidence that there was a plot that evening to kill Shell Kell?
I believe, and I'll have to confirm with Investigator Viverito, that there was some information that Shell Kell was having an event at that club. That's about
That's
it.
about as far as that goes. I don't see, I think 403 is going to keep that out.
Okay. Can I go into the fact that Mr. Copeland wanted to advise Quay, not necessarily about not doing this particular act, but the fact that he wants to advise Quay of not hanging with Thug, to not fall into his trap. He says that at some point Quay would be willing to do anything for Thug, and he's trying to advise him against that. Because I think that that is important, especially given his whole testimony here that he lied on Thug, he did all these things. I think it's important that he's advising another YSL member later on, years later, not to do what he's done or not to fall into the same trap that he's done. And then we do have evidence of Mr. Huey being willing to do anything for Thug. We have his text messages in which he's communicating with Thug saying...
All right, give me a minute.
Judge, just real briefly, just on that same point that the court has just ruled on, I just want to add that during that interview, Your Honor, there was no first and last name of a Marquavius Huey. It was just a Quay. Mm-hmm. And then secondly, Your Honor, there was never any photographic process where Viverito says, hey, is this the Quay you're talking about here? So we can be clear what Quay, which Quay. So that's also in the interview. There's nothing to say that they're actually referring to Marquavius Huey.
In the interview, Your Honor, she does talk about Quay and where he is from. And he says Quay, he's known him for a long time. He's from Jonesboro South. And I think Investigator Viverito will be able to testify when she comes that the Quay that she was referencing was Marquavius Huey, and it wasn't Cormavius Nichols. It was Quay. And we have pictures and photographs of Marquavius Huey and Kenneth Copeland together. And then we also have incidents. They're not going to come in now. But in 2020, with Copeland and Marquavius Huey and Tanquarius Mender getting into conflict with some...
I assume you have some kind of evidence that Mr. Huey is from the Jonesboro area and that Mr. Nichols is not, such that when Detective Viverito says, you know, Quay from the Jonesboro area, that triggers to Mr. Copeland, oh, yeah, Mr. Huey, not Mr. Nichols, or...
There's no indication that Mr. Copeland knows Cormavius Nichols. I don't have any...
Well, I don't know. I mean, they're all co-conspirators together.
Correct. But Mr. Copeland was in custody a good number of the time when Cormavius Nichols comes.
All right, so I think that'll be able to be cleared up. So, yeah, if you want to elicit that Mr. Copeland, at least in this interview at some point, whether he did or not, says that he did advise Quay not to do things for Thug, that's fine.
Okay. And then, Your Honor, as it relates to the other point, and I understand, of course, ruling on the alleged plot, I will also say that Detective Viverito advised that they did send marked units up to the club to prevent anything from occurring.
Okay, anything which maybe was going to happen and maybe nobody on earth had planned. So, okay, that's great. Thanks for clarifying that for the record. Mr. Harvey.
But then do we get a instruction at this particular point if it comes in that it is not Mr. Nichols?
No, and if either of you want to ask, if any of y'all want to ask him, well, what Quay do you think we were talking about there? You can.
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I don't know who it was.
I mean, the state is affirmatively saying that it is not Mr. Nichols. So I don't think it's my obligation to get up and say, hey, it's not Mr. Nichols, with Mr. Copeland, who has got nothing to do with Mr. Nichols. If we all agree that it's not Mr. Nichols, then I think that should be expressed at this particular time.
If I get to that line of questioning, I don't even know if at this point, Mr. Copeland is going to, where we're going to go with this line of questioning, if he's going to respond. I do have a picture of him Marquavius Hewington Quarius Mender, that I intend to introduce through him.
Okay,
that
well,
he
you can,
posted.
if you can say, hey, when you and the detective were talking about Quay, is this the Quay you meant? I have no idea what he's going to say, but.
Correct. I mean, so.
Okay. All right, yes, sir.
Your Honor, the volley that just occurred, that is commenting on Mr. Williams' future dangerousness. It is
It's-
asking Mr.
It's
Copeland.
not going to come in.
Okay, the question, I misunderstood. I thought you said that Mr. Copeland could be asked that he gave advice to Mr. Huey to stay away from Mr. Williams, that don't commit crimes for Mr. Williams.
Don't commit crimes for Mr. Williams. I did not understand that to be what he had said. But thanks for the clarification. Let's make sure. When you're talking about that part of the interview, what exactly is being said?
I want to make sure I hold it. So in the interview, Your Honor, I have Mr. Copeland telling the detectives, I mean, I ain't got no reason to lie. You know what I mean? I told Quay time after time, hey man, stop being stupid. I mean, like, you tripping and you dumb as hell, bro. I tell him time after time, after time, after time. We had a conversation last night. I mean, he is referencing doing things for a thug. Like, that's kind of what the gist of why he's telling Quay, don't be stupid, don't do these things for. I can't say specifically, and this is the part that you ruled out, Your Honor, is that.
Well, we don't need to talk
Copeland-
about the part where I ruled out. I'm
Right, so-
talking about the parts that might still be in that you just referenced for me. Do you want to, do I have a copy of this transcript so that I can look at it? I don't think so, but do you want to hand it up to me and say I'm planning to elicit or potentially elicit pages, you know, whatever it is, 250 through 260, or I'll take a quick look? Or Mr. Nichols is, sorry, Mr. Steele, is that part in? I'm kind of working from a deficit here since I don't have the statement in front of me. But y'all all do, so.
Your Honor, this is. Yeah, may I approach?
You may.
Of the October 2021 interview.
All right, where am I supposed to be looking?
So on page 112. Starting at line 8, it says,
You don't have to read it to me. I have it in front of me now.
but some of it's unintelligible, so I was going to.
Oh. But it's not actually unintelligible. You know what it's going to say?
Yes.
Okay.
So starting at line 8, it says, but Quay, he tells me every single thing. And then Vivian said, and then everything else. Sure, I'm sorry. On page 112, line 8, it says, but Quay, he tells me every single thing. And then line 10 says, and then line 12 is Kenneth Copeland. Most of it you can read, Your Honor.
So are any of the unintelligibles don't commit crimes for thug or something to that effect or something really close to that? Or they just, man, stop doing stuff for him?
It's generally not to do stuff and not to be a gopher for thug.
All right, Mr. Steele, I mean, you've, I'm sure, listened to it. Do you believe there to be something that comes too dangerously close to what you would object to?
Yes, but I don't object to the gopher. If that's how it comes out through investigative viverito, that's fine, but I don't believe that's the spirit of what they're talking about.
The specific thing that he was referencing was what you just kept out, which is it was Copeland's assertion that Thug wanted Quay and 44 Savage to kill Shell Cal. That part is out. Outside of that, what Copeland is telling Viverito is that he was advising Quay not to be stupid, not to do stuff for him, not to do those things for him. But the only specific thing that she referenced was Thug wanting Quay and 44 Savage to kill Shell Cal. And he also says at some point in the interview that Thug wants Shell Cal dead. I mean, along the lines of what you just said, I wasn't going to go into that, but this is what Copeland is saying, that Thug is not going to stop until Shell Cal is dead. I mean, those are things that he says, but given what you're just ruling, I wasn't going to ask him those specific things.
Okay, well, that wasn't my ruling, but here you go. So it does not sound like that's going to come out. Somebody hand us back. All right, are we somewhat clear?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right, we ready to get Mr. Copeland back in and the jury out?
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Go ahead, Ms. Hilton.
Permission to approach, Your Honor.
You may.
Mr. Pump, I'll show you what's been marked as 378 YF1. Tell me, do you see yourself in that picture?
Yeah.
You also see Investigator Viverito in that picture?
Yeah.
And do you see a date on that picture at the top?
Yeah.
Is that October 27th, 2021?
Yeah.
And do you recall that being the interview that you had after you were arrested in October 2021?
Yeah.
Your Honor, this time the state would like to tender State's Exhibit 378YF1 into evidence.
Okay. Is that what you mean? Just the photograph?
For right now, just the
All right,
photograph.
that's admitted.
Now, in this interview, do you remember your interview or speaking with Investigator Rito?
Yes.
All right. In that interview, did you talk to Investigator Viverito about information that you gave back in 2015?
I talked to her about a lot. I can't recall exactly.
Okay. Do you remember being concerned about helping the police out in this interview because you didn't think the police helped you out back in 2015?
Yes.
Okay. And isn't it true in this 2021 interview, you did not think that police helped you when you told them about everything that happened with Nutt's murder?
Well, I knew they weren't gonna help me out because they knew I was lying. They just were going along with me. You know what I mean? Thinking I was gonna fall for it.
Isn't it true that you believed in this interview that after you told police about Nutt's murder, you were tortured?
You know, I ain't never been tortured.
Okay. Isn't that what you told Detective Viverito in this October 2021 interview?
You watch my interviews, you're gonna see I'm always playing like on the victim. I'm always talking about what people did to me. I'm never talking about what I did back to people.
Okay. I'm asking you, did you tell Investigator Viverito in this October 21 interview that you felt as though you were tortured because... Did you tell Investigator Viverito that you felt that you were tortured because you talked about Donovan Thomas's murder?
I probably told her that I was, like I told you, they got me again. Handcuffs on my wrist. It's time for me to work my magic.
I had actually researched One Main and read the reviews. It was all positive. I'm more optimistic about my future now than I was before One Main.
Did you know that almost half of black-led brands are discovered by word of mouth? That means the easiest thing to do is the thing that can make the biggest difference.
Trust, you don't know what you're missing.
That's why every time we find a new gem, we gotta pass it on and keep spreading the word. Shout out after shout out. Until everybody everywhere has heard about all the amazing black-led products.
We did that.
Creating a whole new world of choices at Walmart.
Now, back in 2021, did you still believe that Thug was concerned that you were talking to the police?
I never had no belief about Thug being concerned about me talking to the police. It's just something I told the police. If I made the police believe that me and Thug was at it, they're more likely to think that, okay, they went for exactly what I wanted them to go for.
Isn't it true that you thought that Thug wanted you dead in 2021 because you were talking to the police?
No. If I feel like somebody wanted me dead, I'd be on them.
Isn't it true that Investigator Viverito in this 2021 interview asked, he wants you dead. Your response is, yo, you didn't know that. And she says that, why would he want you? And your response was, and she said, why would he want you dead? And your response is, because of this, because sitting here talking to y'all.
Well, I'm not even gonna do it to you. I'd tell the police anything.
Now, with Investigator Viverito, that wasn't your first time meeting Investigator Viverito, correct?
No, it was.
Okay, she was your probation officer, correct?
Nah, she wasn't my probation officer.
How long had you known Investigator Verito in this interview?
From when she was a probation officer.
From when she was a probation officer. And at any point in time, was she your probation officer?
Can you say it again?
At any point in time, was she ever your probation officer?
Shit. You might well say it. She always after me.
Okay. And about how long in this interview had you known Investigator Verito? In October of 2021, about how long had you known her?
I don't keep up with it.
Okay. Had you known her for more than a year?
Yeah.
More than 2?
I did 51 months in the feds. I've been knowing her before. I think before I went to the feds. I don't know when I first.
Okay. I'm sorry, did you say you knew her before you went to the feds?
I've been knowing about her.
Okay. Now, isn't it true, back in 2021, did you talk to a number of your friends on FaceTime?
Nothing I said before y'all brought me in this courtroom in the past was the truth. Besides the little pieces that I tried to finesse the police with to get off of me.
So when you were speaking with Investigator Verito in this October 2021 interview, are you saying that nothing you said in here was true?
I ain't said it. You trying to make it seem like I'm saying the whole interview is not true. What I'm saying is, to convince them, you got to tell them a little bit what you think they know. And look, I'm not about to go back and forth with you. I mean, like.
So I'm asking you a very specific question. In the October 2021 interview, are you saying that you were telling Investigator Verito what she wanted to hear as well?
I don't recall.
Now, during the course of this interview, did you speak with Investigator Verito about Quay?
I don't recall.
Okay. And I want to show you. Permission to approach, Your Honor?
You may.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as Exhibit 398Y. Do you recognize who's in State's Exhibit 398Y? Do you recognize the people in that picture?
Yes.
Okay. Who is in that picture?
Me and Quay.
Okay. Do you recognize the other individual?
I can't see her face.
Okay. Do you recognize the Instagram name Stunner_60?
I don't keep up with people's Instagram.
Okay. Do you know that to be another Nard Tinquarius Mender?
I know another Nard.
Did you know him to have an Instagram name of Stunner?
I don't keep up with people's social media.
Okay. And looking at 398Y, can you tell if that other person is Nard, the other Nard that you know?
Yeah.
Yes, that's him.
I don't know.
You're right. This time to say that Tender Stacy Exhibit 398Y as evidence.
It's admitted.
All right. Permission to publish.
You may.
Now, back in 2021 or 2020, did you have the Instagram name of 725_Woody?
That what it looked like.
So is that your Instagram handle?
I had so many Instagram pages.
Let me ask you this. If you had so many, is your birthday July 25th?
For sure.
And they call you Woody, correct?
They call me who?
Woody.
Who? I can't hear you.
Woody.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
All right. Is this a picture that you posted on your Instagram page?
What you mean?
That ninja said put some respect on my name.
The 725 Woody. God bless you.
Give me some money. What you say?
Is this that picture that is posted that says 725 Woody?
I don't remember posting this picture.
Okay. Do you remember taking a picture like this?
You said tit?
Do you remember taking a picture with like this?
Oh yeah, I remember this picture.
Okay. And in this picture, Who's all in the picture?
You just said Quay and Art.
Okay, but the picture wasn't on the screen, so is Quay the person with the green sweatshirt around his waist?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a yes for the record?
Yes.
Okay. And are you the one person in the middle with the pink hoodie?
And Art with the blue.
Okay, thank you. And if I want to go down, and does the caption say 3 of a kind? And it tags Quay and it tags Stunner with a green heart emoji and a green snake. Do you see that?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. And it says, I am the streets, out now on all platforms. Does that say that?
I guess.
Okay, what is I am the streets?
Yeah, ask who made that caption.
Isn't that you who made the caption?
No, I just told you that. I remember the picture, but I didn't post it. I don't know nothing about.
Okay. So 725_Woody.
I also have other people post on my page, my manager.
Did you have a song or an album out called I Am the
I
Streets?
said other people had posted on my page, so they could have posted it.
And I'm asking you, have you had an album or something called I Am the Streets?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you. Now, in this interview, did you ever talk to Investigator Viverito about conversations you had with Thug about that the police were going to be watching him?
I don't recall. You said I had. Can you say that again?
Sure. Back in 2021, did you ever have conversations with Thug about the police telling Thug that the police were going to get him?
So you saying in 2021 I told Thug that the police was gonna get him?
Do you recall ever having any conversations with Thug saying that the police were going to get him?
I thought you said I was concerned about him killing me.
That's not my question. My question.
I'm just saying if I'm concerned about him killing me from 2015, why would I be around him in 2021?
So is your testimony today that you don't recall having any conversations with Thug about the police going to get him?
Now, my testimony today is that when investigators get to me, I'm trying to convince them that I'm around him and that I can tell them stuff that make them think that I'm right there and I know what I'm talking about. There's proof of, like I said, me making things up.
Okay. So do you recall in this same October 2021 interview telling Investigator Viverito, I go around Thug, I hear him talk stupid, I tell him they're going to get you. Investigator Viverito says, you said what? You said, I told them they're going to get you. She said, who, Thug? You said, yeah, I told him. Investigator Viverito says, like the police? And you said, yeah, I said they're going to get you. I said, all that shit you're doing, they're going to get you. And what does he say? He says, shit, like I know. And Investigator Viverito asked, so you don't care? And you said, no, he don't. Do you recall having that conversation with Investigator Viverito?
I probably did tell her that, but I was just stating it to you so that you can see that, you know, well, like I was telling you, like I'm just making it up as I go.
Okay. And that did you also go and tell Investigator Viverito that you told Thug, I said you put all this stuff in your songs, they're going to be watching you for 5, 6, 7 years. I told them that they're going to be watching you.
I haven't had no dealings with Thug once I got the feds. So when they got me again, back to the routine, put the blame on Thug, y'all let me go.
And you keep saying you put the blame on Thug. What blame did you put on Thug?
Whatever convinced the police that let me go that day, they come look for me tomorrow. I don't care as long as I get away that day. That's all that matters. So if they're gonna sit here and keep thinking they're gonna get some type of information out of me, I'm a spinner.
Did you realize in all your interviews you were the person who brings up Thug first?
Because he's a bigger fish than me.
Now, do you specifically remember what it is that you would make up on Thug?
Whatever came up, whatever the police could say, they could have said breaking their cars. Whatever they wanted, not saying breaking their cars, but whatever to convince them that I helped them for them to let me go, I would have said it.
So in that case, why didn't you tell the police that Thug killed Nut?
Because the police weren't gonna go for that. You gotta be more specific. You gotta be realer than that. You gotta convince them. You gotta make them feel like you really telling them. They know this man if he kill nobody. That would have been stupid for me to go in there and say Thug killed him.
Okay. You said that you never talked to Thug after you left the feds. Did you ever talk with Dolly?
No. Hey, I don't know. What you mean? When I got out?
Yes.
I can't recall. I can't recall. But I never talked to Thug after I got the feds.
Do you remember telling Detective Viverito that you actually saw Thug in the club once you got out of the feds?
I told you again, they got me. I know who they want, who they after. So I'm
Now, in 2021, did you feel guilty about the fact that you had previously told on Thug back in 2015?
If I told on him back in 2015, he would have been in jail if he did anything I said he did.
Okay. Do you recall telling Investigator Viverito that the real reason you don't like going around Thug is because you felt guilty that you had snitched on him?
If you know anything about me, I don't care for real. Like in real life, I don't be caring about nothing. I act like I do, but I really don't.
Is it true that in the same October interview, you said to Detective Viverito, I'm not going to talk at the jail at all because I'm telling you my life is on the line. You don't understand how it make me feel when I go around. The truth, when I go around, dude, I know what I done. So I don't want to be around him because of guilt. That's why I don't want to be around because I be afraid. I can't look a nigga in the eye because I'll be like, damn, this nigga know. That's why I'm going around. I ain't want to tell y'all that. That's why I can't sleep at night because I know him. I know what I done. I know the information that I gave. Y'all sit here and play like this shit ain't valuable all y'all want. I told y'all like I know.
Okay, what you asking me? You asked me, did I say that?
I'm asking you, did you feel, yes, one, did you tell the detective that?
Yeah, I told you, I got to convince them, especially with Rito. She swore she know everything. So I was having fun spinning her.
Okay. But you told her that's because...
I also told her that Thug was supposed to do something to somebody that same day. And then they took me to jail and nothing happened that day. So clearly, if you take anything I say, I'm done.
All right. Now, in 2022, did you end up going back to prison?
Say that again?
In 2022, did you end up going back to prison?
I went to state prison. I don't know when, though.
Okay. And while you were in state prison, did you talk to Little D from Mechanicsville on the phone?
I don't know. I can't recall.
Do you recall ever talking to him at all?
I probably have. I just can't say. Yeah, I don't keep up with who I talk to on the jail call. I probably did. I'm bored or something. I don't know.
Isn't it true that in April 2022, did you call Little D and told him that you were aware that a RICO 43-person RICO case was coming down?
I probably did. Ain't no telling.
And that because the RICO was coming down, that you all need to get off of IG, get off of Instagram?
I love Lil D to death. So if I'm plotting, I'm gonna get Lil D to plot along with me. So I'm gonna go to Lil D so Lil D can be my backup.
And as it relates to Little D, do you recall him having an Instagram name of Scarface?
Shit, I guess, yeah.
Do you recall?
Oh, excuse me for cussing.
Do you recall DMing him that they were trying to indict you all on that body?
You said I did that?
Yes.
I don't recall me DMing him that.
Permission to approach him. I'm going to show you, or I just showed you what's been marked as Exhibit 381Y. Again, your Instagram name was 725_Woody.
What happened?
Your Instagram name, again, it was 725_Woody.
A lot of people had my Instagram. I ain't seen that message.
Okay. Do you see what that message says?
Nah, I just heard what you said.
Okay. Are you able to read what's on that page that's circled in red?
I heard what you just said. It said.
Do you recall sending that to him?
Can you tell me what the date is?
Sure. On October 6, 2021.
Was I in jail?
I don't know. Were you in jail?
Then I just asked you.
I know that you got arrested on October 27, 2021. So before that, before getting arrested on October 27th, were you in custody at all prior to that?
So this was before I went to jail?
Yes.
So why would I DM him? Why would I message him and say that?
First, answer the question. Is that your Instagram name?
Listen,
725_Woody.
I would not do nothing so stupid like that. I would not message nobody saying that. Why would I say?
Okay. So you don't recognize that as your Instagram name?
I don't recognize me DMing no little D talking about some date. No.
Okay.
I know how the police operate. Why would I do that?
Why did you think that you and D were going to get indicted for?
Yes. Speak into your mic if you don't mind.
To my understanding, this exhibit is not in evidence.
That's correct.
And I'm going to object to the publishing of this exhibit through.
I don't think she's going to publish it. You don't intend to publish it, do you? Because it's not in evidence. Okay.
And we're almost.
I would just further my objection, Your Honor, that it assumes facts that are not in evidence.
Your Honor, I'm going to move on from that last
All
question. Right. Now, you said that everything you told the police, you made it all up. When did you make it all up?
You keep saying everything. I keep telling you, like, I know how to piece stuff together real good.
The stuff you made up, whatever parts you said you made up, when did you make it all up?
As I go.
Did you make it up with anyone else?
I don't recall. They looking at me like that.
Okay. Mr. Copeland, isn't it true that you're supposed to be testifying under an immunity agreement?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't have a clue about none of this stuff. I told y'all from the start, y'all to put me in here. Like, I don't comprehend. I done told y'all that time after time. I don't know what the immunity agreement is. I don't have a clue. Like, I'm up under so much pressure. Like, man, I don't know. I don't even know how to answer y'all question because I don't know what type. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to be as truthful as possible. And y'all keep going back into the past. I told y'all when I was talking to y'all in the back, man, I have lied. And y'all don't put me up on here telling me that I got to be truthful when I'm telling y'all, man, I don't know, man. I'm afraid for my life. Every time y'all call me here, I think y'all finna take my life, take my freedom. And at this point, I can't call on nobody for help. I don't know what's going on.
Were you told before you testified that anything you testified to in the courtroom could not be used against you?
Can you say that again?
Before you took the stand, were you told that anything that you testified to in court could not be used against you?
What you mean?
Before you took the stand, were you told by myself, Ms. Love, anyone sitting at this table, that anything you testified to could not be used against you?
Anything I testified to can't be used against me?
Yes.
Yeah, I heard. Yeah.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, last week, didn't you ask the judge? You turned around and you asked her, nothing I said could be used against me, right? And you asked the judge?
Okay.
Okay. And isn't it true that under this immunity agreement, you were told that you could be charged with perjury?
You say I could be charged with who?
Perjury.
I don't even know what perjury is.
Okay. Were you told also in this immunity agreement that you could be charged if you committed false swearing?
I was told, I asked specifically so I can understand. And if I say that I had committed a crime that I didn't do.
Okay.
So I don't know what perjury mean. I don't know. I mean, I'm afraid for my life. And I told y'all that. I told it to my lawyer. I tell it to the judge. I tell it to everybody. Y'all got me up here. I don't know what's going on. And like I said, for the crimes that y'all charged me with, I went to jail. I did all my time for it. Y'all still bring me in here. I feel like I'm on trial at this point. I'm going to jail because I don't know. Y'all got me up here asking me questions. I don't know how to answer these questions. Y'all want me to be a witness to something I don't know nothing about.
Isn't true that even with the immunity agreement, you did not want to testify?
Can you explain it?
Sure. Even when you were given immunity, you did not want to testify.
No, I still don't want to testify.
Tell that man what perjury means, lying under oath.
I
feel like I was pressured by both sides, the state and the defense.
Okay. And isn't true that you told me in front of these jurors a couple of weeks ago you felt pressured to testify?
And I still, right now, I feel pressured to testify. Because it's not like I'm up here to be, it's not, I can't sit here and tell y'all, nothing. I don't know what y'all want me, I don't know what y'all looking for. I didn't see nobody kill nobody. I didn't see nobody rob nobody. I didn't see none of these boys do anything. I did some stupid things. I got caught for the stupid things that I was doing. And I just went from there. Like, I didn't. And then y'all got me up here. And I done told y'all before y'all put me up here, y'all came to talk to me on like a Tuesday or something. And you came to talk to me in the streets. And I told you, like, I lied. And I told you that. And then y'all still brought me in here.
Isn't it true that you did not want to testify because you don't want to deal with the reality of being labeled a snitch?
Miss.
And he's told them that several times.
I was being labeled a snitch way before I had to come to trial when y'all linked that video out to the social media. So the world look at me as a snitch no matter what goes on to this day. But me coming here, like I have put my faith in God's hands, and I come here and I let it be known. I guess got no choice but to be letting know to y'all now that I have told y'all time after time that I done lied.
Okay. And a snitch is someone who actually tells the truth, correct?
Listen, Miss Hill, like, I mean, like, I feel like I got the world on my back now. You ask me these questions, like, I don't know, man. Like, y'all draining me. I mean, like, for real. It's a different if I sat here and seen somebody commit a crime, and then I saw them with my own eyes do this, and then I get in here and say, I didn't see them do that. Y'all want me to sit here and say, the stories that I have put on other people's, and I didn't. Like,
So he's not an eyewitness. Get him off the stand.
I would not do that. Like, and Lord knows I want to be with my family and my kids. But if y'all gonna put me back in jail because I won't sit right here and tell y'all what y'all believe to be whatever y'all want me to say. Like, I mean, I don't want to go to jail, but man, at this point, I don't. Man, y'all got me, man. I don't know, man. I can't sleep at night. Like, I tell you, y'all hold me in jail. Don't feed me. Don't give me water. Like, I just don't know. Like, every time I walk in this door, I pray and hope I walk back out this door. I just want to be left alone. I paid for my punishment. And I done told y'all before y'all put me right here in this seat. Time after time. I told Judge Glanville in his office. I done told everybody, I can tell. And I'm telling you to your face, I know you don't have anything to do with you. You doing your job. But I've been nice to you, and I've been telling you that you can't put me up here, and I told you, I done made it up.
Okay.
It's a difference if I seen one of these guys actually do something, and you ask me, did they do it? If you ask me, did they do something that I actually saw them do it, and I would tell you, yeah, I saw him do that. Yeah, I was with him when he did that. But this is not the case.
And you just told police what Demekion told you, correct?
I told the police anything to get them off of me. I was going through a phase. People were shooting at me while I had my kid. And my only priority was, by any means necessary, to protect them with my whole fucking life. Judge, I get a minute because they drive me crazy.
Yeah, take a minute, take a breath.
Keep telling y'all.
No, stay here. Come here. Stay on the stand. Take some breaths. Calm down.
And once he finishes his breath, Your Honor, state, we conclude our questioning, Your Honor.
Well, do you have any more questions?
No.
Okay.
Judge, can I go home?
All right. No, it may be that some of the defense attorneys or all of them might have questions for you as well. So we're not finished yet. So take a minute.
Come on, Reg. I'm ready to get it over with.
All right. Who's got questions for Mr. Copeland?
Oh shit, the pit bull himself, Mr. Brian Steele.
Go ahead.
I want to talk with you about verification or corroboration of statements made to law enforcement by you that we listen to on recordings, okay? And by verification, I mean something that, besides your word, it supports what you say, okay? Do you understand what I'm asking you?
Well, he didn't ask you anything yet. Do you understand what he's saying to you?
I don't understand. Now you're on.
Maybe just ask him a question.
So the district attorney Hilton started to talk with you about what she said, verification of what you said to the police. So I want to talk to you about verification or lack thereof, okay? If you don't understand anything, just tell me you don't understand. The first one that Ms. Hilton said is that Jeffrey rented a Infinity vehicle. Remember that? Yes or no?
I don't recall.
Do you remember she put up for you State's Exhibit number 334Y? It said Hertz on it. You were talking about some of the words on the exhibit behind you. Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
Okay. Do you remember getting beaten in Club Crucial on the early morning hours of Tuesday, January 6th of 2015?
I didn't get beat.
Do you remember having your lip cut open, a knot on the top of your head?
No, I didn't have. I just had a knot on my face.
And your eye swollen? You remember that? Do you remember that? Yes or no?
I don't recall.
If that's on the early morning hours of January 6th of 2015, do you remember going to Jeffrey Williams?
I don't
Next
remember
day.
nothing from 2015.
Well, let me finish my question. Do you remember going to Jeffrey Williams the next day and explaining that you got beaten at Club Crucial and you needed a car because you didn't want to drive around in the car that you typically drive around because you didn't want to be noticed in the area? Do you remember telling him that?
I don't recall.
Do you remember saying to...
All right, hang on a second. When there's an objection on the floor, let me hear the objection and make a ruling on it, all right? Before you ask the next question. Assume he's moved on, so we're not going to worry about that one. Go ahead.
Do you remember saying to Jeffrey Williams that you needed a car and he was driving, he had a Corvette vehicle, a rental car from Hertz? Do you remember that?
I don't recall.
Do you remember realizing that a Corvette has 2 seats and you have a child with a car seat as well as your child's mother, Deshawn, at that time, and you needed a bigger car? I'm asking questions to see whether he remembers this conversation.
Okay, sustained that is not a fact in evidence at this point. You
The
can
question, to ask him if it's happened.
So you may ask that question.
That's my question. Do you remember that?
Do
you remember saying that to Jeffrey?
Saying what?
That you couldn't use a Corvette. He had a rental Corvette. You needed a bigger car because a Corvette's a 2-seater.
I don't remember that.
Do you remember Jeffrey saying, sure?
Objection, Your Honor. That's assuming facts, not evidence, and self-quotation.
Sustained.
Do you remember going to Hertz Rental Car at approximately 8 o'clock at night on January 7th of 2015 so that Jeffrey could get you a rental car, an Infiniti rental car?
Objection, assuming facts, not evidence.
He can ask whether he remembers that or not.
I don't remember.
Do you remember telling this jury on direct examination weeks ago that that rental car, that Infiniti, was in your care?
I said it?
Yeah. Do you remember saying that?
No.
Do you remember driving that Infiniti rental car from the time it was picked up from the Hertz rental car on January 7, 2015 until it was returned on January 12, 2015? Do you remember driving that Hertz rental car that we're talking about from the time it was picked up on January 7, 2015 and having control of it until it was returned on January 12, 2015?
I don't remember 2015.
Do you remember driving with Mr. Zachary, little d? Do you remember driving with Mr. Zachary and striking cones on the side of the road on the highway and damaging the Infiniti rental car? Do you remember doing that?
I don't recall.
Do you remember giving that Infiniti rental car to other people on the night of January 10th, 2015?
I can't remember 2015.
Well, let me ask you this way. Do you deny having that Infiniti rental car January 7th of 2015?
What you mean?
Did you have that car in and around your person?
I gave the car to threat.
Okay. You told the jury that you gave that car to your friend, and threat is Mr. Turner. You know his last name? True? Yes? Okay. I'll take the for the court reporter as a yes. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. And you told the jury you gave the car to Mr. Turner the day of the killing of Donovan Thomas from that morning to that night. Do you know what I'm talking about? January 10th, 2015.
I didn't mean to say that.
Okay. But that's what you said.
Out of frustration.
All right. Now, you also had that rental car, not only when you gave it to Mr. Turner, your friend, but you had that rental car before you gave it to Mr. Turner, obviously, right? Otherwise, you couldn't give it to him.
I don't recall.
And you had the rental car after you gave it to Mr. Turner, right?
I don't recall.
All right. Let me ask you this. Getting to the fact that the state showed you that on State's Exhibit 334Y that Jeffrey rented the Infinity from Hertz, you were there, right?
I can't remember.
That has nothing to do at the time of this killing, does it? That's 3 days before, right?
I can't remember.
And what you're telling the jury, or what the state wants you, I believe, to tell the jury, is that Jeffrey Williams rented a car.
Improper questioning about what the state is intending for him.
I think it's clear.
Re-ask your question.
Okay. Jeffrey Williams, therefore, rents a car in his own name that's going to be used in the killing of Donovan Thomas. That's what you're telling the jury.
Objection, that's not what he told.
Rephrase your question.
The rental car that's used to kill Donovan Thomas, are you telling the jury that Jeffrey Williams rented a car in his own name?
I don't know what car was used to kill him.
Okay. All right. So what corroborates for the killing of Donovan Thomas on January 10th, 2015? Corroborates means supports or verifies. What corroborates the fact that Jeffrey Williams rented that car with you 3 days earlier?
Objection is an improper. I don't know. He can't ask. It's an improper question.
I'm asking.
I think maybe it calls for speculation. Can you rephrase it?
Sure. The district attorney started questioning you about the Hertz rental car on January 7, 2015, talking about verification of what you said to the police. I'm asking you, how does it verify anything you told the police that Jeffrey Williams was involved in the killing of Donovan Thomas, the fact that he rented that car for you 3 days before?
Objection, compound speculation.
Sustained.
Does that, the fact that Jeffrey did a favor for you, does that verify anything about the killing of Donovan Thomas that Jeffrey Williams was involved?
Objection, assuming facts have happened.
Overruled on that basis, but it's not a proper question. Ask a different question.
Can you tell the jury how Jeffrey Williams doing you a favor 3 days before in that vehicle, the Infinity vehicle from Hertz, how does that put Jeffrey Williams involved in the killing of Donovan Thomas?
Objection, speculation.
They asked this question to verify it.
Okay, that's that question overruled on that basis.
How does that support your statement to the police?
Huh?
How does that corroborate or verify your statement to the police?
What you mean?
That Jeffrey was involved in anything to do with the killing of Mr. Thomas?
The police did it.
Okay. Number two, you were asked by the district attorney specifically a little while ago that Jeffrey was in, that you told the police that Jeffrey, on June 10th, 2015, you told the police that Jeffrey was in the Infinity at the Texaco gas station. Remember that question?
I didn't tell the police that.
Right. Do you remember what you told the police?
But I told them that I don't know what I done told the police.
Do you remember telling the police, and this is, Your Honor, on State's Exhibit 378YE, June 10, 2015, interrogation of Mr. Copeland at 255:48 to 256:06. Mr. Copeland, you remember saying, just listen to the story. So they seen him. They switched cars at the gas station. Thug, meaning Jeffrey, got in the car with the girl. Thug and I think a little D. You remember saying that?
I lie and tell the police anything. This was my, anytime they question me, That's what my intention was, getting them out of me. So what I done told them was whatever I said.
Okay, well, I'm going to play with the court's permission, Your Honor. Just for simplicity, I made this JW240N as a nice, and it's really States Exhibit 378YE. It's just easier to find the snippet, and it's from 25548 to 25606. It's already in evidence.
All right.
You might need your earphones if you need them.
Can you hang on a second before playing that? Miss Winfrey. This is stop.
Mr. Copeland, you may need those headphones. Tell me if you said anything different than just listen to the story. So they seen him, they switched cars at the gas station. Thug got in the car with the girl, Thug, and I think little D. That's what if I said it wrong, please correct it, okay?
Just listen to the story, so. They seen them, they switched cars at the gas station. Thug got in the car with the girl. Thug and I think little D.
What I said was right? Did you hear that?
That's what I said to the police?
Yeah. I'm not saying it's true. I'm just saying that's what you told the police.
Objection or comments?
I said this what I said to the police.
Yes. Okay. I'd like to show you, Your Honor, it's already in evidence, and the state is going to help play it because they just played it. State's Exhibit number 295, Your Honor. I asked permission to play. It's a Texaco gas station. Thank you. And it should be camera 10 first at 18:41:56, or when the supposed Bonneville gets to the gas station. May we play, Your Honor?
Yeah, are you asking the state to do that?
They are, yes.
Okay, sure.
Thank you. Mr. Copeland, my question to you is, during this entire video, where do you see Jeffrey Williams anywhere around this gas station getting out, switching cars, okay?
Man, I have told y'all, I have made this up to the police.
Okay.
I just watched this video.
Well, we're just going to make sure the jurors see it, okay? But if you see him at all, you just let us know, okay? Stop the video. Your Honor, this started 1841. You see that white car?
Hmm?
You see the white car that that gentleman just got out of? It's walking towards us on the screen? Okay. So if you could slow that down and go back a little bit, we'll give you time. Mr. Copeland, I want you to look at the people walking and changing cars here. We'll start at when that car pulls up. It just got into the screen. So we'll start at 19:14:47. You see the new car being entered into the screen in a moment. And people exit the car. Tell the jury when you see Jeffrey Williams in either of those cars or anywhere in the parking lot at all at the Texaco gas station.
I told you I made it up.
(19:16:51), and that car that pulled up last just left. You see that? Yes. Audible, yes.
Just
Yes.
say out loud either yes or no instead of not, if you don't mind.
Thank you. No Jeffrey Williams, right?
No.
We can double speed it unless the court says no. Your Honor, we're going to double speed it unless the court says otherwise.
No, go ahead.
Okay. And now it's 19:17:39 or 40, and it's we're going to stop camera number 10. Tell the jurors whether you saw any reference or image of Jeffrey Williams during that entire clip that we just watched from January 10th, 2015 at the Texaco gas station.
Like I told the state, I just told the police anything to get them out my face.
So did you see Jeffrey?
Then nobody in here that watched the video didn't see him.
I'm going to go with the court's permission. It's already in evidence, Your Honor, same exhibit number. It's camera number 11, and there becomes an infinity vehicle, what's purported to be an infinity vehicle pull-up. Whatever, I heard what you said, so whatever vehicle you think it is. We will start at, can you get it right before the infinity pulls up, which should be at 11:19:16 if you need your. 11:19:16 I have. Your Honor, we're starting at 11:19. Oh, that's wrong. I'm saying 11. I copied. 19:16:06.
All right.
Not in double time. And Mr. Copeland, if you can watch here and tell the ladies and gentlemen jury if you see anyone who resembles Mr. Jeffrey Williams. And that's the vehicle that just pulled up that we are focusing on. But anywhere you see Jeffrey Williams, if you do, let us know. see that vehicle moving outside the screen, Mr. Copeland? You see it leave the gas station, sir? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. And we're going to stop it at 19:17:30. And thank you so much. And I heard what you said, Mr. Copeland. You made it clear. You were adding Jeffrey Williams because that's what the police wanted to hear. Is that true?
That's what they told me.
Because you had an agenda. You wanted to get yourself free, right? You were in custody, right? Is that true?
Right.
And in order to get out of custody, go home, you knew the police wanted to hear information that Jeffrey Williams committed crime, was a big fish. Remember that?
That's what they said.
Yeah. The police told you they wanted Thug. Remember them telling you that?
That's what they said.
Before all of this, before all this information about Jeffrey Williams, you remember the police telling you, we want the big fish, we want Thug. Remember that?
Yeah.
You remember the police telling you, it wasn't just local police, and that's bad enough. I'm not saying that's not serious. But you had the Atlanta Police Department with you on June 10, 2015, Detective Gaither, gang unit, right? She's in the room with you. Detective Dennis, right? He's in the room with you.
Right.
He's with the gang unit.
Right.
I told you. You had Detective Thorpe, homicide.
Right.
With the City of Atlanta Police Department, right? Correct?
Right.
And you had federal alcohol, tobacco, firearm, explosive Special Agent Cunningham at times with you in that room, right?
Right.
And Federal Agent Cunningham told you that you are an armed career criminal. Remember that?
I don't remember nothing about the interview.
Okay. Well, I'm going to play it for you in a moment if we need to. And she told you that you are getting, without parole, you know what parole is?
Yeah.
If you get a sentence, you might get out a little earlier, or you may get out earlier on parole. You know what I'm talking about?
Ain't no parole in the feds.
Exactly. So you do every day, right?
Right.
And in the federal government, Special Agent Cunningham with the federal authorities said she already spoke with the U.S. Attorney's office about you, right? We'll play it. Do you remember her telling you you're getting 15 years without getting out every day to the door as an armed career criminal? Remember that?
I don't remember what she said.
Plus, you're getting an additional 10 years on top of that for a total of 25 years for two different guns, a gun at the Dunbar Center and the gun in your home on June 10, 2015. Remember that conversation?
I remember she said I was looking at a lot of time.
And do you remember she even calculated for you? She asked, how old were you on June 10, 2015?
You said how old was I?
She asked you that.
I guess.
And she added 25 years to that and said you wouldn't get out until you're 48 years of age. Remember that?
I guess.
Then Detective Gaither, Detective Dennis, and Detective Thorpe explained to you that's just federal charges. You also have to deal with gang charges. Remember all that?
I guess.
That means that could be stacked or run consecutive. Do you not remember this?
I don't remember the interviews.
And you told them, I don't want to go to jail. I hate jail. Right?
I do.
Right. And you told them, I'll tell you anything you want to know. I just want to go home. Yeah, I'm not saying that's a quote, but that was your...
Sound like me.
Yeah, that's what encouraged you to tell these lies, right?
They did.
Yeah. That's why when you told them that Jeffrey Williams went to the gas station and changed cars, it's not on the video because it's not true, right?
I was just trying to tell them anything to get them out for me.
You were making it up. For that reason.
I don't remember what I told them.
Okay. We just listened to it. Remember you put your earphones in?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you told them. That was not true, right?
That's what I told the police.
And the verification there should be, if you were telling the truth to the police, It should be then at the Texaco gas station, you see Jeffrey Williams changing cars, right? If you were going to be verified, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So let's talk about you in the Infinity at that gas station. Okay?
Objection, Your Honor. Assuming facts not
Sustained. I mean, I think we hadn't really heard the question yet.
If you were in that Infinity at the gas station and had anything to do with the murder of Donovan Thomas, what did this district attorney Hilton tell you would happen to you?
objection, assuming it's not evidence, in speculation if you were in the car.
Why don't you not ask it as a compound question?
Tell the jury what District Attorney Hilton told you on June 10th of 2015 if you admitted that you were involved in the killing of Donovan Thomas. Tell them what she, excuse me.
Try that question
Excuse me.
again.
I just got it. June 10th is the same exact date. Okay. June 10th, 2024. I see it. 2024, June 10th, a Monday. Remember meeting with your lawyer, Judge Glanville, District Attorney Hilton?
Right.
Yes? In this courthouse?
In the judge chamber?
Yeah. I wasn't there, right?
Huh?
I wasn't there.
You wasn't where?
In the judge's chambers with you, Miss Hilton, your lawyer, Judge Glanville?
No.
None of anybody here was there, right? It was just the people I mentioned and security.
Objection, Your Honor.
Let's get to the actual question.
Tell the jury what District Attorney Hilton told you would happen to you if you admitted in any way that you had anything to do with the murder of Donovan Thomas. Tell them.
They gonna lock me up.
So when you have this use immunity for anything you say, District Attorney Hilton told you, but you can't say that, right?
Objection, Your Honor. Improper foundation. You must ask the question that I asked.
That is testifying, and I'm asking Mr. Copeland to
Overruled.
tell the jury. Tell the jury your understanding what Miss Hilton told you if you admitted to being involved in the murder of Donovan Thomas, even with use immunity. Tell what the District Attorney's Office would do to you.
Huh?
Objection is compound of a compound question.
I don't think
Sustained.
that was compound. Okay. If you admit the way you were told by Miss District Attorney Hilton, if you admit to being involved in the killing of Donovan Thomas, you get prosecuted for that, right?
Objection is improper question to what was asked.
You'll have him on redirect. Overruled.
Is that true?
She said, if I do that, plead the fifth, I'm gonna go to jail.
And when you say, if I do that or plead the fifth, if I admit to being involved in Donovan Thomas's murder, I go to jail, right?
Huh?
That's what she told you. That's what Miss Hilton told you. Am I correct?
I didn't hear you.
Okay. If you admit that you're involved in the murder of Donovan Thomas, you get prosecuted. You go to jail, right?
Two things to send me to jail.
One is if you admit to the murder of Donovan
Hey,
Thomas
let
being
him
involved.
answer the question if he's going to let us know what his understanding is. What is your understanding?
Go ahead.
Well, when I was talking to them,
Tell the jury.
I don't recall. I don't know what's going on.
Mr. Copeland, if you were to admit that you're involved in the murder of Donovan Thomas, do you go to jail? Is that your understanding through District Attorney Hilton?
Can I ask the judge a question?
Let's take a recess.
I talk to my lawyer.
Yes. Just wait a second. Actually, if you want to go ahead and
You said I can go?
step out, yeah. Hmm? All right, unless anybody needs to put anything on the record, we're going to recess and let Mr. Copeland have whatever time he needs to speak with his lawyer.